good morning or afternoon or even evening, depending on where you are or what time you're watching this video. It is currently morning and it is absolutely bucketing it down where I am. It's groggy, rainy, dreary, so I thought, why not just film another little video all about poo? You know, who doesn't want to talk about poop on days like this when it should be sunny? We're mid-July. But this video, we are going to cover why are you not pooping? So constipation, which is something that actually sounds really silly, but quite close to my heart, because it's something that I used to really suffer with for years. So I really understand the frustration of not going to the toilet, and how that can really affect you mentally, physically, all of those different things. So I'm going to be going through a little bit why we get constipated, and then also looking at some tips as well. But what I wanted to quickly just show you, I've actually taken off the wall my little bit of art. Now, what happens sometimes when you film a video, it flips it. So sometimes if I'm talking right to left, you guys might see it left to right. If you're seeing it left to right, just know that I mean right to left. I've had a couple of things like that before. People go, you're doing it the wrong way. So basically this here is your digestive tract is kind of everything from your mouth all the way through down to your anus here, where you poo everything out. But the large intestines, which is where your waste matter will sit before it comes out, it is this big large one here that goes all the way around the small intestine. So it comes in on the right hand side, travels up, across and down. So your poop actually does have a very professional, yeah, there we go. So your poop actually does have a very long way to go before it wants to exit. And what can happen is that the bowel, for a couple of different reasons, doesn't want to evacuate, and it leaves that waste matter in the bowel for longer, and this then means that the waste matter in there gets dry. All the water gets sucked out of it, because as the waste matter travels across your large intestines, water gets sucked out, and it should get sucked out enough for it to be shaped into just a nice little kind of log shape. If it's not evacuating, it's just going to keep getting that water secreted out of it, and it's going to become drier, smaller and more compact, and become more uncomfortable to pass or not pass at all. Now, there's a couple of reasons why these things can happen. Some of them are as simple as you've been on medication, so really severe painkillers, you've had an operation that's made the bowel very lazy. There are other lifestyle issues or choices that can make the bowel not go, so really lack of fibre. Now, this doesn't mean you've got to run out and start eating just a load of all bran. We're talking the colourful stuff. So we're going to go into that in a minute. Lack of water is another one. So there's not enough water in the system. Again, your bowel's going to become very dry. And then one of the main issues for constipation is the brain-gut connection, and your stress and your worry, your overthinking, always being on the go, because what that does is turn the bowel off. It tells the large intestine or the bowel that it's not safe to go. And then what happens is, the longer and longer you're in that one there, bus has just passed, here I am, nice and light again. The longer and longer, the bowel doesn't feel safe, it then just becomes drier and drier, and the problem gets bigger and bigger. There are, of course, other reasons why that bowel might stop working. It could be that you've actually lost that contraction. I can never pronounce this word, and I always laugh when I try and do it. I think it's called peristaltitis. It's basically the contraction that your bowel does to move poo around. So when you get that, oh, I need a poo, and then poo starts to come out, your bowel is contracting like a wave. We're going the wrong way, I should be going right to left, and that's how the poo comes out. Now, you might have lost that contraction. I am back. Someone came to collect my hazardous waste. Anyway, so for example, the contraction of your of your bowel is known a bit like a wave, and that's what moves your waste matter out. And that can sometimes become really lazy and not function, which is a common thing that can happen. So let's look at what we can do to get that bowel moving. Now, it's really, really important to remember that anything with your gut, whether it's you're going too much or not going enough and you're trying to resolve it, it does not happen overnight. So you have to be really realistic and say, this is something that I really want to fix long term. So I need to remember that I need to be slow, steady, and consistent with my approach. If you've had constipation for years, don't expect that 1 or 2 days of doing some of these things, it will get better. So what I always say to people, that if those bowels are not moving, we need something to get them moving slightly. Now, there's a really nice supplement called magnesium citrate, which is a natural supplement, and it can relax those bowels more. So I say to people that are not getting any poos at all, like you really are dry, start taking a magnesium citrate supplement at night and see if that starts to get those bowels moving alongside all the other stuff that we're going to be talking about. If you're somebody that bowels does open up, it's uncomfortable, it's dry, you don't feel satisfied, then you might not need to worry necessarily about going down the magnesium route. We might be able to get you better poos with some of these other tricks. So I'm going to start with the most important one, because you can throw all the food, all the supplements under the sun, but if your brain is telling your gut it is not safe to go to the toilet, it will not go. So for me, really focusing on, and I call it stress management, and stress gets misleaded with these big things in our lives that are stressful, but stress is actually how our brain is constantly thinking, constantly chattering, worrying, anxiety, comparing ourselves, never fully switching off. We in the modern lifestyle do not rest, and rest is so important. And if you are always on the go and you are constantly in your sympathetic nervous system, which is your flight and fight, where you produce cortisol and adrenaline, you are really going to struggle to get your bowels to open up, or struggle to really conquer this type of constipation. So my tips is be selfish, take time for yourself, look at doing meditations, look at doing some breathing exercises. And what I will do is I will pop these in the comments so you can have a look at them. Box breathing, for example, is a fantastic way of calming the system down and getting your heart rate slower, which means that then your parasympathetic nervous system will be activated, which is your rest and digest. Go for a walk, set boundaries with your phone, is really important. Have a weekly bath where you've committed, to just you. What we want is to slow the brain down. And unfortunately, the modern lifestyle is telling us to speed the brain up. Always be doing something, always be on to the next thing, achieve. And this is why we are now seeing so many gut problems. So, number one, focus on going from your sympathetic nervous system, so stress, flight and fright, to your parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest. Rest and digest is when optimal digestion will happen. This does not happen overnight. You cannot just go from being super busy, super overthinking, to then go, I've done one meditation and I'm healed. It's practice, commitment. So commit to slowing down where you can, okay? Other thing we need to look at is your dietary fiber. So looking at your diversity with your fiber. So lots of people go to the doctors now and you will get given a fiber gel, or you'll get told to eat more all bran. Now, That's just giving you one type of fibre. Fibre gels are awful. Do not take them. They're full of other gunk that we don't need in the body. What we need is a diverse range of fibres. So colour, mixed veggies, fruits, seeds, nuts, legumes, lentils, loads of different things that is going to get your gut microbiome really happy and healthy. I've actually, whilst we're chatting, I've just seen, hang on one second, let me get it for you. I'm back. So this book here, Eat More, Live Well, is all about the power of a diverse diet. And this is done by a gut health specialist, or a science gut health doctor, Dr. Megan Rossi. She's fantastic. You probably have heard about her. But I always recommend my clients with constipation, focus on diversity of fibre, or anyone with poor gut health, diversity of fibre. Start small, build up. So add more fibre into the breakfast for a week, then add it into breakfast, lunch second week, breakfast, lunch, dinner third week. So you're slowly building a tolerance is really important. Remember what I said at the beginning, low, slow, and consistency. That is what will get the gut better. No fast fix here. There's no fad diet that will work. The other thing is looking at your water. So make sure your water content is nice and high, 2 to 3 litres a day. That is really going to help. If you struggle with water, look at your herb teas, add some lemon in there. Get a water bottle so you can track it. That will really help. What also the gut really does need is good bacteria. I did a previous video about probiotic supplements. There is a video coming up with fermented foods. Fermented foods is good bacteria. Normally that's the best way to go. They're slightly strong in flavour, so it may not be exactly where, you might not be able to handle them. The video that I'm going to do is going to show you how to add them in nice and subtly. But good bacteria is going to feed the gut microbiome the good bacteria it needs. You're going to feed the good bacteria the fibre, diverse fibre that it needs. You're going to calm and soothe that nervous system by just looking at your stress management, and your digestive system's going to go, oh, this feels nice. So that is really the basics. There's no pill. It's all down to what you put in, how you get your body feeling calmer, feeling safe. And that is going to get those bowels moving. And now remember, if they're not moving at all, use an aid. Use something like magnesium citrate to start getting those bowels going a bit more. As always, if this video was useful, please like it, share it. If you have any questions, comment or contact me directly. I'm always here to help. And let's get those bowels moving. My voice, I've had a busy week. My voice is going. Mwah. Right, speak to you soon. Bye.